Hi everyone, this is Holly from Hot Humble Pie. Welcome to my Christmas series. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I'd love it if you click that button. For this next craft, I used some shims from Home Depot. I actually got 12-inch shims. They didn't have the 18-inch ones. And these little incense burner holder things from the Dollar Tree, I don't know what they're called, but you would, if you have a like incense, you would stick the stick in the little hole there, and it provides a tray for the ashes to fall. Now I choose shims because the top tapers off and it's a lot thinner and easier to cut than painter sticks, but you could use painter sticks if that's all you have, if you know how to cut it at an angle. You know, if you have little machinery that does that. I don't. I just have these little clippers. So I went ahead and I used a bowl upside down to trace and get that round shape, and then I just cut it. And this is just cutting and sanding this whole thing. I sanded the shims a little bit just to make them smooth. I'm sanding the edges here, and now I'm using some craft sticks from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just using wood glue and hot glue to hold this all together so we get that nice palette look. You know, I love that where it's not a solid piece of wood for the sleigh. I think that's so cute. And these are those little square blocks that you find in the crafter's square section. Some Dollar Trees carry them even if they don't have a craft section. And I knew when I saw them exactly what I wanted to do. I actually bought these back in the summer, and the little incense things. So I hope they're still around all year. I think they are, but I knew I wanted to make a Christmas sleigh, and I wanted to lift it up a little bit to be 3D. You could use the towering blocks. I think if you make I didn't want to use those because I thought they might be a little bit too big for the sleigh I was going to make. But if you make one with bigger legs using painter sticks or something else, you could also use the towering little blocks. I've seen another creator do that. I can't remember who it was, but I saw another creator do that. So it just gives it a nice 3D look, and you know, that's always charming. So here I'm taking the color Burnt Umber and Apple Barrel. You can use black or any kind of dark brown color you want. And I'm just adding a little distressing and a little bit of, you know, dimension and character there to make the sleigh look nice and rustic. For this part, I decided to use black because I needed a little bit more contrast. The Burnt Umber, even though it worked great on the cream color, wasn't working so well on the brown color, so I went with black to make it look nice and chippy and old. I'm just giving it a blow dry here. And then I'm going to take some of the Dollar Tree pine. For those of you that watch my videos, you've seen me do this multiple times. I just trim it down a little bit. It makes it look a little bit more expensive, and for small crafts for sure. And you know, it fits better. And then I'm using some of these gold bells that I got at the 99-cent only store, and I'm showing you here how I'm taking, this is twine from Walmart. You get this twine, I think it's about $4 and so much cents, so it's close to $5 when it's rounded off. But I bought that twine you see right there, that roll has gone forever. It is such a good deal. So if you spend $5, you'll have it for 2 or 3 years. It's wonderful. And there you see what I did. I just slipped it through that little metal thing because this time I didn't want to tie it on. I wanted them to hang really straight. And then I tie it at a knot underneath, push it down with some hot glue, and you can see me there pressing it down so it all looks like one joined piece. And I do that to 2 of the bells. Then I take some of the nutmeg color from Apple Barrel paint. That is my #1 to-go-to color for faux rust. I think it looks outstanding, and I discovered it looks really outstanding on gold metal. Now, if you use silver, you can do the cinnamon technique. I show that in my very first Christmas video from everyday Dollar Tree items. You can find it that way in the little thumbnail. I show you how to do it with the cinnamon technique if you want to do that, and you have silver bells. That looks really good too. You keep some of the silver showing, but I'm going for a really primitive look where the whole bell is completely rusted, and I discovered these bells here worked, you know, the color gold works outstanding for that look. So I cover the entire bell, and now I'm just going to tie them together and add a little bit of pretty embellishment to the front of this sleigh. So I'm going to glue the pine down, glue some of the Dollar Tree little mini scented, they're cinnamon scented. I love them, those little mini pine cones. They are so fun to work with this time of year, and I add some little mini snowflakes, but this is a solid wood sleigh, you guys. It looks so classy and beautiful in real life. It is perfect for farmhouse decor. For this next craft, I am using a Dollar Tree summer sign that I got during it was actually at the end of summer because there weren't that many people shopping, so there was a lot of summer signs left. I made one for apple cider, for those of you that watched my fall series, and now I thought it would be fun to make it for hot cocoa, so I just sand off the glitter. I go ahead and I'm going to give this one 2 coats of primer, Kills. It's the brand KILZ, Kills Primer. And something interesting happens here when I paint it. I start blow drying, and you'll see in a minute here. See how it's like bubbling up on the left side? And I go, what is that? What is that? So I stick my little skewer thing under there, and I realize I can just remove this whole thing. It made the paper so soggy that the whole thing just came off. Now I want to know if any of you guys have ever tried taking a wet towel and laying it on top of these signs for like 5 minutes or something, and how well that got the front label off. I tried blow drying it, that didn't work. If there's any tips out there, you know, that won't damage the cardboard underneath. I was always worried if I left a wet towel on it, the cardboard underneath would be all soggy. But if you guys have tried it and had good luck, if someone could write how long they did it for and, you know, that kind of thing, I would love to do it that way. So here I'm making a free printable. I made this, and it's a free printable down below in my description box. You just click on that link, it will take you to it. And then when you get to that, click on it and right click your mouse, and when it says save as, you're going to download that photo to your computer and then go from there. And you can take it and put it into a Word program and shrink it or make it bigger, whatever you want, and then print it up. That'll give you more, you know, I think that's what I do, and it kind of gives you a better idea about how big it's going to be on your paper when you print it up, as if you drag it into a Word program. And now I'm just taking I used carbon paper. You can just scribble pencil on the back of it, and I'm using permanent markers in brown and black and coloring it in. But here comes the fun part. I get some joint compound and I decide to do whipped cream on the top here, and it came out so pretty and real looking. I just spread it on, and now I'm tapping my little craft stick there up and down to get the peaks and the valleys so it looks nice and whippy and authentic, and a lot of fun here, you guys. I end up sprinkling real cinnamon on it. It looks so real. If you do not live by a Dollar Tree that has Dollar Tree signs, and I have a lot of people from the UK I know that watch this, and other people around the world that aren't located by a Dollar Tree, please check out my video on how to make a fake farmhouse sign. That technique will work for you, and you can dupe anything once you have that technique down. So don't let that stop you. Please have fun and craft. And here it is, you guys. Absolutely beautiful. So for this next craft, you're going to need one of those little skinny Dollar Tree signs. I own one, and I actually trace it onto my wood and then cut it out because I go and buy the wood and it ends up being cheaper for me. I can get about 41 signs out of a utility panel for $11.46, and obviously I make a lot of these for family and friends, and so for me it makes more sense to go ahead and go to the effort of cutting it out. It only works for the square ones and the rectangle ones. I'm not that good at cutting out little, sophisticated angles or round circles, but for a square and a rectangle, this works great. And of course, if you're only going to make a couple little DIY signs for Christmas, the Dollar Tree signs work just fine, so don't stress out. And if you don't have a Dollar Tree near you, then use some spare wood, or again, go to how to make one of those fake farmhouse wood signs, that video, and just do it that way. But you can still do this DIY. So today I wanted to have a try at painting a tall, skinny, rustic looking pine tree. I've seen these before. They're very on trend. I want to put this up on my mantle this year with all my garland. And so the way I'm doing it, I'm not a professional painter, but I approached this with dry brushing colors in layers. So I do a bright green first, which I got at the Dollar Tree. The next color I do is that forest green. It's actually called forest green, and it's by Apple Barrel Paint. The next layer I do is white, so that's going to give some dimension for the snow. And then you'll see I'm going to do, after this, I believe I go over it with the bright green again, and then I think I do more snow, and then I hit it with the forest green, and we get a really beautiful final result. So there's no special painting skills required for this. Anybody can make this tree. It literally is just dry brushing layers on at the angles you see me doing here. I would like to add that it is important that you let each layer dry in between. I was blow drying. I know Bob Ross can do it when it's all wet. He's amazing. I don't know how he does that. But if you want the definite look of like little wispy branches and you want that dimension, you're going to risk losing that because you're going to smear the paint into like one big color. So make sure each layer is dry before you apply the next layer. And for this part, you can use any old brush you want. You're just tapping it on here and there to give the illusion of snow. And don't panic either if you get paint too far on the edge of the wood there. You see on the left-hand side there, I have that little green streak. I'm just going to hit it with some sandpaper. You'll see me do it in a bit. There I go. And it comes off easy peasy. So do not stress about things like that. They're totally fixable. Even on a Dollar Tree sign, you could sand it off lightly. So don't stress, just have fun. And you may notice the trunk is a little 3D there. I do use some of the burnt umber and just put a few streaks here and there on the bottom of the trunk, again, just to add some more realism and dimension. And I'm going to go all the way around the edge with the snow. And now I love this technique. I did this on a whim and I think it came up so pretty. I'm just tapping the brush and it comes up like snowflakes, like it's snowing on the tree. I thought that was so pretty. So, and that's it. It looks to me, well, what I was envisioning, it came up perfect. That is like the ultimate little rustic tree that I've been seeing on Pinterest that I want so bad to put on my mantle. So I made one. Now I'm just hand drawing a star. I actually made the star a little crooked on purpose. Again, if you're going for that rustic look, at least with the look I'm going for, it's supposed to look a little bit not perfect, if that makes sense. So a little cute star that looks hand drawn, that's sitting a little crooked, is exactly what I was going for. And for this part, I'm just using the territorial beige and the burnt umber, and I'm filling in the star, and that's it. I mean, it's done, and I love this. As promised, I am making some more 3-tier tray decor for Christmas, and you're going to need some of the Dollar Tree towering blocks. Now, I hope you guys can follow the sequence of blocks that I do here. I was following it really easy because I knew what I did, and I sure hope it translates because I tried to pick up the most important scenes of what I was gluing together. So you can see there I have 2 sets of 3. I glue them together, and then I glue 2 of those on top of each other to make a long rectangle. Now I'm going to glue 4 of the blocks together and another 4 of the blocks together, and I'm going to glue those on top of each other to make another size. And last but not least, I'm going to take 3 little blocks and glue them together in sets of 3. So you're going to have those 2 on the side to the left. I'm going to glue those all together as well, and then we're going to be stacking those on top of each other to make a cube shape. And that's it. That's all you need to do. And for this craft, in my opinion, the hot glue is good enough. It holds together because we're going to be using ribbon at the end in addition to hold things together. If you want to use wood glue, you can for a stronger hold, or super glue would work. E6000 doesn't, from my experience. It soaks in the wood, but super glue is an option as well as wood glue, and that's what you have left when you're all done. Now the first thing I'm going to do is hit it with some cream color. I like this a little bit better than white. It's not so loud and glaring. I love Farmhouse white. I mean, nothing beats it. It is so fresh and pretty for farmhouse decor, but for this particular craft, I wanted these to look vintage. We're making little mini gifts, and in order to make them look kind of warm and comfortable on the eye and vintage, I chose to go with cream. I just thought that would be a little bit easier for the whole look that I'm going for. If you only have white, use white. That's just fine, because you can always dry brush a brown color. I mean, really dry brush like a light brown color over it, and that will also give you the illusion of it being cream. So don't stress if you don't have a cream color. That's just fine. So the next color I choose, as you can see, is like a wine red, I guess. It's like a burgundy wine. And that forest green from Apple Barrel, I love that forest green. I think it is so beautiful for farmhouse Christmas decor. And now I'm taking the color in burnt umber. That's my second favorite color for aging things and making it look old, and just dry brushing it all over the surface on all 3 of these little presents. So again, this was a Pinterest inspired craft, you guys. I saw bigger versions of this online and I thought, I don't want to store that. But boy, oh boy, would those make super cute little miniaturized versions on a tiered tray for Christmas when you're decorating it for Christmas. And here you see me cutting off the sparkly edges of that buffalo check ribbon from the Dollar Tree, because I didn't think the sparkly edge would go too well with the vintage look, you know, the rustic look. I wanted it to be just plain. And I'm just going to add garnishes. You'll see me do it. I'm just adding some different, you know, all of this is from the Dollar Tree except for that pine and, well, that little like it looks like a bush pine right there on the side. That came from Michael's craft store a few years back. I went back and just bought a bunch of little cute Christmas picks from there when they were on sale, and they've lasted me forever. I've just been cutting off little things here and there and adding it to my crafts. So definitely hit the craft stores, you guys, after Christmas when everything is 75% off, because it's actually cheaper than the Dollar Tree. And of course you get really high quality stuff and you get a lot more choices. So here I am gluing the black and white, and I'm not going to say it, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently it's not buffalo check when it's black and white. Someone, a seamstress, came on and said the red and white one is buffalo check. When it's black and white like this, the check, it's called gingham, the print. So black and white gingham. That's going to be hard for me to remember, but there's a little trivia for you today, folks. So anyway, it's always good to learn new stuff. So here is my second favorite. Oh my gosh, that lace ribbon from Dollar Tree. I love that. It is so pretty. So I use that for the next present. And I'm using the burlap from the Dollar Tree burlap banner that they sell over in the party section at my Dollar Trees. Now, I don't live by great Dollar Trees. They are really lacking when it comes to Crafter Square stuff. So that is something that I hope most of you can find, because it seems to be an all year round everyday item for me, are these little burlap banner things. And in a pinch, they make great, you can see great garnishes and little embellishments for farmhouse crafts. And there it is. Let me know which one was your favorite. I think these came up so cute, and I can't wait to display them on my 3-tier tray. If you enjoyed today's video and had fun, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe, share my video. It really does help my channel, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you. I love you guys. And of course, until the next video, breathe deep, fret not, and do things that make you happy.